Welcome to the Girls Insights platform. My name is Angela. I welcome you profoundly to this inheritance conversation regarding inheritance and business. Now, many of you have businesses of one sort or another. It could be a farm, it could be a shop, you could have a large corporate, a sole proprietorship. Most businesses start off as a family business with one individual setting it up, a patriarch, a founder, usually the father or the mother. And as you grow your business, of course, you expect it to outlive you through second, third, and fourth generation going forward, and for it to grow. But many of us do not plan for our businesses. And we leave them floundering because we have become the sole heartbeat of that business. And it doesn't matter whether it's a business in products or in technical items, or it's a service providing company, or it's a corporate. As long as it's a business offering a good or service, then it qualifies. Now, the businesses that we see collapsing as soon as the founder is dead have been completely tied onto the founder's efforts. And in these cases, we find that the founder has not put in place the structures to ensure that the business will outlive them. And it's such a sad state of affairs to see the effort you've put in for a lifetime into your business collapse the day you also leave this earth. Businesses do not collapse because the founder dies. They collapse because the founder was the system. Many businesses can survive competition. They've survived economic downturns. You have had to survive bad years. For those in business, you know you've borrowed at times to pay salaries, to ensure utilities are covered, especially at the startup stage. And yet, most of these businesses will not survive the founder's death. Why? Because the founder was the decision maker, the relationship holder, the signatory, the strategist, the authority. You were everything encompassed in one package. And you don't have an equal to you, somebody who has that same mettle to hold the fort, the vision, and also to carry forward the mission of that organization. So when he or she dies, the business loses its oxygen. Now, where do you lie on this spectrum? Do you know where you lie? A business has to be governance-led, not founder-centric. It depends heavily on one person if it's founder-centric. And if that's the type of business you're running, you don't have a business, you have a personality structure. In many family businesses, only the founder knows supply and logistics agreements. Only the founder signs the checks. Only the founder signs or understands invoicing and pricing. How you find the founder is the only one who negotiates contracts. There's no documented structure, no delegation of authority, no board oversight. So when death occurs, there's paralysis. Everything stops. No one knows where you've been banking, how you've been banking. They don't know where you keep the legal documents, who you've been dealing with on what. Of course, if you're more organized and you have teams, departments that are already in place, for those that have grown a bit bigger as an outfit, then yes, the departments could continue a lot of that. But for most family-based businesses, it's usually a one-man show or a one-woman show. And paralysis will follow when the moment you are not there. A founder can be visionary, but without governance, vision will die with you. So is that what you're looking at when you're setting up your business and making it everybody's business to know that that is your business? Or should you entrust everyone you feel has the capability to come in and ensure that you don't leave a vacuum? As long as you're founder-centric, you will collapse. Authority vacuums create conflict. And when leadership disappears overnight, competition replaces coordination. It replaces oversight. It replaces even the thought process. When people who are in leadership pass on, there's a panic from the moment the news is heard because people don't have a set system or structure. So immediately after death, employees don't know whom to report to, and children could come in to assume leadership because that's their father's business. The widow may feel unprepared and is still grieving and may not even be in touch with the office or know who the staff are. Business partners will test the boundaries because they know there's no one to corroborate their whatever they'll say unless it's documented. So you also find siblings saying, I worked in the business, I should lead. And now you start bringing to the fore power struggles. Others may say it belongs to all of us equally, and yet you know 2 or 3 of your children don't know how to work, lack work ethic, have some high levels of corruption, do not understand business, or are not even in that field. Imagine you're running a pharmaceutical company, and this child of yours didn't finish university and did arts subjects and not sciences. They would have no clue about the pharmaceutical industry. So if one of those sons or daughters takes over your pharmaceutical business, they're going to kill the operations because they don't understand it. And they're going to come in abruptly. They won't be weaned over time and through a process. So without the predefined leadership succession, power becomes contested. And contested power kills operations. Cash flow does not pause for grief. I want to repeat this. Cash flow does not pause for grief. The business has to continue churning. It's a wheel that you've set in motion, and you can't put it aside to go on holiday. It's a machine that is operating. If you have staff, if you close for a month, you still have to pay them salaries. If you have utilities, taxes, you still have to make those payments. And no explanation about death, about the grieving process will come in because the business will still demand for accountability. Now, grief stops the family, but it does not stop that payroll. So what is going to happen here? Your suppliers will still need payments. Employees will need their salaries. Loans will require servicing. Contracts will require fulfillment. In the initial stages of the death of a founder, there has to be someone who takes control so that the business does not stop, so that funds are not siphoned, so that you do not lose your supplier base or your clients don't run away after hearing about your demise on social media or in the press. If signatories are frozen, accounts are unclear, decision authority is disputed, revenue slows, confidence will drop, stakeholders start pulling back, and the business will begin to suffocate financially. So if you had a highly viable business, it will take a matter of weeks before you start seeing the cracks as the business starts its journey downwards. There's also an emotional inheritance versus operational competence aspect. Ownership can be inherited, but competence cannot. Children can inherit shares, but do they inherit management skill, industry relationships? Can they actually inherit strategic discipline? Would they have any operational experience, or are they going to pick it off a shelf? Often, founders do not prepare successors, and they assume the children will figure it out. I can tell you, I have seen so many families, including those close to me, where those who take over the business have no idea how to run a business. They have never worked for any business or company. They have no work ethic, and they're just looking for control and power, but lack the mettle to ensure that the business thrives the way the founder left it. And leadership is not instinctive. It's trained. So if someone says, I'll take over the business immediately after the death, it doesn't guarantee that they'll be successful. They'll look for so many excuses to see if someone else can take the blame for the business collapsing. But if they've not been trained, they will not be able to pull it off and run that business to succession, a successful growth curve. If you don't have a succession plan in place, you're in trouble. Succession is a process. It's not an event where you call family members for a cup of tea and, or a function and you pass the baton on. It's a process where you teach the values, you teach the ethics, you teach operations, finances, you teach what you want the business to have. You teach those leaders to go there. And it takes time. It takes experience. It takes them learning on the job. The absence of a governance structure is a challenge. If you don't have a governance structure, I'd advise you to get one. If you have no board, no documented roles, no succession plan, your business is fragile. A resilient business has a clear ownership structure, a clear management structure, a board or advisory oversight. It should also have a defined succession pathway, documented processes and policies. Without this, every decision becomes political because it's about whose decision makes it first in line. Politics will replace performance, and performance will decline. So family conflict will definitely come out of this. And when family conflict enters the boardroom, the family tension will destroy that business faster than market competition. After death, of course, old sibling rivalries resurface. Spouses will influence decisions. Emotional wounds would also appear. They spill into operations. Now you start having business meetings that have become emotional battlegrounds. Your employees suddenly feel unstable because they don't know whether they'll be maintained or thrown away. Partners start withdrawing because of the ways of working, the style that the new leadership or the children bring in. You may find the children don't even have people management skills. They've not been trained to handle the business. And clients always sense this weakness. The market punishes chaos. The market will always, always punish chaos. And as long as they smell it, your business will collapse. So you have to ask yourself, what could have prevented this? Because if businesses do not die from death, they die from lack of structure. What kind of structure should I put in place, or should I ensure that the entire team puts in place? Prevention requires succession planning, and it requires you to plan when you as the founder are alive, because all the parties listen to the founder. Leadership grooming is important for the next generation. Don't hold on to that seat too strongly. Anything can happen to you. It's not just death. Sometimes it's dementia, Alzheimer's. It could be an accident that moves you out of the office, and you need to rely on your family members to take over your business. So often it may not just be death that collapses your business. Put in place a defined governance framework and clear shareholder agreements, especially when you're anticipating that that business will have to be distributed among all your children. Have documented operational systems so that everybody knows there's a system we adhere to. I've seen siblings who come in and remove all the systems and structures that you have used for over 10 years. And they want to find and start their own way of doing things without understanding the journey you've gone through to put those systems in place. Document them and ensure these operational systems and policies are reviewed every 2 to 3 years. And also have an emergency signatory planning where eventualities are mentioned. Risk management is critical. Love for your children is not succession planning. And if you feel that you're going to sail through building a business that will outlast generation after generation. Your business can collapse in less than 2 weeks after new leadership, especially children who have not been groomed come into the fore. So I'm begging you, look at your business and ask yourself, if you're not there, will it survive? Don't assume that your children or your relatives will have the same vision, mettle, and love for your business as you do. You've invested so much into your business, let it live to make you proud. I hope this will help those of you who are in business. And in case it does, remember that as a founder, your legacy is not measured by how big your business is. It's measured by whether the business is able to survive you. If you can get through that, you're well and good. But if you can't, you can always schedule a clarity call with me so that we can look at the challenges you're facing and I can help you to start the journey of putting systems and structure into your business. I hope this helps, and I look forward to having you join us in the next sessions. My name is Angela once again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.